Calm and quiet around the Brazilian embassy in the Honduran capital. On Wednesday morning, the loudest voices in this political crisis were heard all the way in New York.
Zelaya is courageous. Look how he entered Tegucigalpa. Now the UN should stand up for Zelaya's reinstatement, so the prehistoric era of coup d'etats is over.
The Brazilian president called for restraint from all sides.
The international community demands that Mr. Zelaya immediately return to the presidency of his country and must be alert to ensure the inviolability of Brazil's diplomatic mission in the capital of Honduras.
But so far, pressure from the United Nations and other international organizations hasn't brought nearly 3 months of political turmoil in Honduras to an end. The de facto leader, Roberto Micheletti, said he'd talk to Zelaya if the ousted president promises to recognize the results of elections planned for November. So far, the international community has said any election conducted by the interim government won't be legitimate. From the Brazilian embassy, Zelaya hopes to resolve the crisis and get back in power.
We are continuing with the efforts of the resistance organization in the country, as well as the process of dialogue that has been established with the international community. And God willing, we have hope that in the coming hours, that dialogue will be reestablished.
But even with dialogue, the de facto government says it still plans to prosecute Zelaya for treason and corruption. Meanwhile, angry Hondurans who have been locked up in their homes rushed to the stores as the 24-hour curfew was temporarily lifted. Hondurans say they need to stock up on food and other supplies for what could be a long haul.
Again, our correspondent Mariana Sanchez is in Tegucigalpa. Do we have any sense at this point, Mariana, about reports of apparent or potential negotiations between the interim government and Zelaya's people, perhaps carried out by someone from the Organization of American States?
Well, Rosalind, it's very difficult to have a certainty that there will be a negotiation because one has to read between the lines here. Although Micheletti, Roberto Micheletti, the head of this interim government or this de facto government, if you will, has said that he will talk to Zelaya if Zelaya recognizes the elections in November, the general elections in November. But at the same time, he is also saying that there will not be any other road for Zelaya to come into be reinstated in this country as a civilian, if he was a free civilian at least, before he undergoes a trial. He's facing charges 18 counts, and so that's a condition, if you will, from Micheletti. And so the offer of dialogue on his part, well, it has a condition, and on Zelaya's part, the same thing, as he proposed this interim government talks or a dialogue. At the same time, he's also saying, well, reinstatement or death. That's what the ousted leader has said. So the language is a double language that one has to simply speculate and wait for actions to be taken. So we have to see if the international community, in fact, will be able to exert some mediation here.
All right, Mariana Sanchez in Tegucigalpa. We'll have to leave it there.